Hi, I'm Megan and welcome to my kitchen. In today's What's for Dinner video, I'll be sharing with you what meals we had this past week. This week was a little busy for us. We had my sister's 16th birthday, my dad's birthday, July 4th, and then my little brother and sister spent a few days with us. So it was busy, but a lot of fun. Let me show you what we had for dinner. For dinner this first night, we had a family dinner. We were celebrating my sister's birthday, and she wanted to try a hibachi restaurant she'd never been before. So we met up and celebrated her birthday. It was a lot of fun. It was delicious. We had tons of leftovers and ate them for lunch the next day. Here is my plate. I didn't get a picture of the salad and soup that they brought out before this, but this was super delicious. And then after dinner, we went back to my parents' house and had cake and ice cream and open presents and all that jazz. That was our dinner this night. For dinner the next night, we just did a yo-yo night, or you're on your own. Basically, you just find whatever you want to eat. I decided to make some quick and easy Beanie Weanies. I saw this on Sammy's channel, Manage in the Maze. I'll have it linked down in the description box below. I saw it, I don't know, maybe it's been a couple months ago, but I have a recipe that I use to make Beanie Weanies. I think I've shared it before on my channel. I'll link it down below. But she shared a recipe where she only used 2 ingredients, hot dogs and a can of baked beans. And so I decided to give that a try. All I did was cut up my hot dogs, put them in a saucepan over about medium high heat. Once they got a little brown, I added in the can of baked beans, gave it a stir, and I just simmered it for maybe 15 minutes and I was ready to go. Now for my husband this night, he ate some of his hibachi leftovers. I'd eaten mine for lunch this day, so he just warmed up his hibachi leftovers, and that's what we had for dinner this night. The next day was July 4th and my dad's birthday. He's a July 4th baby. He requested pulled pork. So here is part of our spread and I'll take you through what I made. First up, I made some Crockpot macaroni and cheese. I've shared this before on my channel. I saw this on Kristen Sepp's channel and I've made this so many times since I saw it. It is delicious. It turns out perfect every single time and it heats up really well. Next, I made a 3-bean salad. This is so easy. Again, I've shared this before. All I do is take a can of the 3-bean salad, which is basically like wax beans, green beans, and kidney beans. I add some Italian dressing, a little salt, pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder. I stir it up and then just place it covered in the refrigerator until we're ready to eat. Next, I made a loaded baked potato salad. I've also shared this before on my channel. I'll have it linked down below. Basically, just take some red potatoes, boil them until they're tender, drain them, and then add them with some mayonnaise, sour cream, ranch dressing, crumbled bacon, green onions, shredded cheese, salt and pepper, and I think that's all. I give it a stir and then refrigerate that until we're ready to serve. But like I said, I'll have the video and recipe in the description box below. Next is some coleslaw that my mom made. She took some coleslaw mix, just shredded cabbage and carrots, and added in some poppy seed dressing, and then placed it in the refrigerator until we were ready to eat. We also have some cut up watermelon, and I didn't take an individual picture of it, but it was in the first picture. I also set out some of the Dean's fried pickle dip, as well as some chips. Now for the pulled pork, I've shared how I make my pulled pork many times before on my channel. I'll link that down below. But for this day, my sister brought some pulled pork and beans and stuff from Famous Dave's. So what we did was we took part of the pulled pork and warmed it up with some of the Famous Dave's Rich and Sassy barbecue sauce. That's what's in this first saucepan. And then my 2 siblings do not prefer to have the barbecue sauce mixed in with their pork. So my mom did a little bit of the pork on the side. She just warmed that up without the barbecue sauce. And then, like I said, my sister also brought the Wilbur baked beans from Famous Dave's. We just warmed those up on a saucepan over the stove. We've got some barbecue sauce in case anybody wants any extra. The buns for the pork, and then my sister brought some of the pickles from Famous Dave's. They're so good. They're a little sweet, a little spicy. All right, here we have a pineapple upside down cake. My dad requested this for his birthday cake. I just used the Betty Crocker recipe. It's easy and delicious. I'll have it linked down below. We've got some drinks and then some Shipley's donuts that my mom brought to us. We don't eat donuts a whole lot, but when I am craving a donut, I want a Shipley's glazed donut. They are so yummy. All right, here is a picture of my plate. This was incredibly delicious. We had a really good time together celebrating the 4th and my dad's birthday. And if you are in the United States, I hope you had a safe and a happy 4th of July as well. For the next few dinners, we had my little brother and sister with us. Now, if you're new to my channel, there are 4 of us siblings. I'm the oldest. I have a sister about 2 years younger than I am. And then my sister just turned 16, and I have a brother who is getting ready to turn 14. Now, when I have my siblings with us, I always try to ask them if there's anything in particular that they either want me to make or they want us to go out and get while they're here. I like to spoil them a little bit, as many of you know, if you watch my channel, we don't have any children of our own, so it's kind of nice to spoil my siblings and then send them back to my parents. But anyway, my sister requested my chicken tacos and Copycat Taco Bell cheesy Fiesta potatoes, so I was happy to make those for her. They are easy and delicious. I've shared them before on my channel, but I'll walk you through how I make them real quick. For the tacos, it's really just 3 ingredients: chicken breast, taco seasoning, and dry ranch dressing mix. I've made this so many times that I don't really measure it at this point. I just eyeball it, but I'll try to find measurements for you and link them in the description box below. All I do is season both sides of the chicken and place them into a crock pot. I cover it with a lid. You can cook this on low or high. It really doesn't matter. If you cook it on low, I would cook it for maybe about 6 to 8 hours. If you cook it on high, 3 to 4 hours. You just want to cook it until it's at least 165 degrees internal temperature and it's really tender. So to shred this, sometimes I do it with a fork, sometimes I'll take it out and do it with a mixer. Today I decided to do it with one of these meat choppers. I just used that until the meat was shredded. I covered this with a lid and kept it on warm until we were ready to eat dinner. So for the potatoes in this bowl, I have some russet potatoes that I washed really well, peeled them, cut them into chunks. I'm going to drizzle them with some oil and then season them with seasoned salt and taco seasoning. I'm going to stir that until it's combined really well and then place them onto a cookie sheet in a single layer. I'm going to bake these at 400 degrees for about 15 minutes, toss them, and then cook them for another 15 minutes or so until the potatoes are tender and are nice and golden brown and crispy. Here are the potatoes when they're done. Now, I've seen a few different recipes for the Copycat potatoes. I like this recipe because you don't have to fry the potatoes, and to me, they taste really similar to Taco Bell's. Now, normally when I make these cheesy Fiesta potatoes, I use the Fritos cheddar cheese dip, you know, that you buy in the little cans for the cheese sauce. I feel like that's the closest to Taco Bell. But on this particular night, I had a can of Rico's nacho cheese that I needed to use up. So I just warmed that up in a saucepan on the stove, and then back here I also have some tortillas that I warmed up. Here I warmed up some crunchy taco shells. I just did this in the air fryer. And then I set out all of the stuff for the tacos so that everybody could kind of make their own. In the crock pot, I have the shredded chicken. And then I just put out an assortment of condiments. And then we've got some green onions for the cheesy Fiesta potatoes. I know you young people probably don't remember this, but Taco Bell back in the day used to add green onions to the cheesy Fiesta potatoes. So when I make mine at home, I always like to add those. We've got some shredded cheese, pico de gallo, guacamole, lettuce, just all the yummy stuff for tacos. And then we also have some freshly cut up watermelon. And then I also set out some black olives, tortilla chips for the salsa. And then I had this Bush's black bean dip. I got this at Food Lion a couple months ago and I just forgot that we had it. So I set that out, and that little black bean dip, it was actually pretty good. All right, here's a picture of my plate. I just created my tacos, and then for the cheesy Fiesta potatoes, you just lay down the potatoes, add some of the cheese sauce, add a little bit of sour cream, and then the green onions if you like the green onions on them. And that was dinner this night. This was so delicious. And I love saving the leftover chicken for this. They make really yummy quesadillas and nachos. For dinner the next day, the siblings requested Buffalo Wild Wings. They love Buffalo Wild Wings. My little brother in particular loves their mozzarella sticks, and I have to admit they are pretty yummy. So for me, I just got wings. I got a combination of the honey barbecue and Asian zing. I didn't ask for all drumsticks, but that's what I ended up getting, which I mean is fine. I actually prefer flats, oddly enough, but it was fine. Anyway, and I had leftovers for lunch, and then I got a side salad along with it. My little sister got one of their chicken sandwiches and a salad. My brother got some wings, and my husband got some wings as well, and that was our dinner this night. Dinner the next night was off meal plan, but I cleaned the Blackstone grill this day. I was going to make hibachi over the weekend, and I wanted to get the grill cleaned up, and I knew that I needed to season it, and cooking bacon on it, I've been told, is a great way to season that. So I had this package of thick cut bacon that I got from Walmart, and I wanted to use it up, so I figured, hey, I'll kill two birds with one stone, season the Blackstone, and get rid of this bacon. So we made BLTs. I just cooked the bacon on the Blackstone, and then on a whim, I decided to toast my husband's bread. When we have BLTs, he likes his bread toasted. I don't. Once I cleaned off like the vast majority of bacon grease on the grill, I just added his bread. The grill was completely turned off, and it toasted up just nicely, without with the carryover heat rather from the grill. And then for our BLTs, we've got lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, some bread, and I've mentioned this before, but when I make BLTs, I like to add just a little bit of barbecue sauce with the mayonnaise. I know that might sound odd, but the smokiness, sweetness of the barbecue sauce, I feel like really pairs nicely with the bacon. So for my husband's sandwich, I laid down the mayonnaise and barbecue sauce, some lettuce, tomato. I seasoned the tomatoes with salt and pepper, added the bacon. For me, sometimes I eat lettuce on my BLT, sometimes I don't. On this night, I wasn't feeling the lettuce, so I just had some bacon, tomato, mayonnaise, and a little bit of the barbecue sauce. And to go along with this, I had made a corn dip earlier in the day. I'll be sharing that recipe with you in an upcoming video. It was really easy and super yummy. So we just had that with our BLTs for dinner, and it was easy and yummy. I love BLTs. They are so good. Finally, I made Coleslaw Tostadas. I had planned on making this for us for lunch one day this past week, but I didn't get around to making it, and I really needed to use up the ground beef and coleslaw mix that I'd purchased to make this, so I decided just to make it for us for dinner. Now, I've made this once before, and we really enjoyed it. I couldn't wait to make it again. This recipe came to me through one of you sweet subscribers. Her name is Taylor. I'll have her recipe down in the description box below. Now, when she first sent this to me, I was a little apprehensive about it, but it is so good, so I highly recommend you all give this a try. Let me show you how I made it. In this skillet on about medium heat, I added some finely diced onion as well as a pound of ground beef and some salt and pepper. I cooked that until the hamburger was cooked all the way through. You may need to drain off the fat. I used lean beef though, so I didn't have to. Next, I added in some water, taco seasoning, and just a couple tablespoons of salsa. You don't have to do that, but it adds a little moisture as well as flavor. And I simmered that for about 10 to 15 minutes. You could also use ground chicken or ground turkey. That would be yummy as well. Now, Taylor's recipe calls for you to use a flour tortilla and fry it in some oil in a skillet on top of the stove, but I had some of these tostada shells in my pantry that I really needed to use up, so I warmed these up in the air fryer, but next time I make this, I'll definitely fry up some tortillas. You also need some shredded cheese. You need refried beans. I had some of this black bean dip in my fridge that I wanted to use up, so I decided to use that. And then I also decided to add some lettuce, sour cream, diced tomato, taco sauce, and green onions. All right, let me show you how to put these together. Now, to assemble the coleslaw tostadas, you of course need coleslaw. So I have a bag of shredded coleslaw mix here. This is just shredded cabbage and carrots. Taylor recommended the Hidden Valley coleslaw dressing. I couldn't find that. I did find this new coleslaw dressing from Duke's. So all I did was add some of the Duke's coleslaw dressing, a little salt and pepper to the coleslaw mix, stirred it up, and placed it into my refrigerator while my ground beef was cooking. Now, for this Duke's coleslaw mix, it was okay. It wasn't my favorite. It was a little bit more tangy than what I normally like my coleslaw dressing. And I think like the fourth ingredient was celery seed, and you could definitely taste the celery in there. And if you've watched my channel for any length of time, you know I am not a celery fan at all. But it wasn't bad. I mean, it was okay. It was just wasn't my favorite. I don't think I would buy it again. To assemble these, I laid down one of the warmed up tostada shells, spread on some of the black bean dip or refried beans. Then I added the taco meat, some shredded cheese, a layer of that coleslaw, and then, like I said, I decided to top mine with some chopped green onions, chopped tomatoes, and some of the taco sauce. These are so good. Like I said, I was apprehensive at first. I can be kind of weird with like different foods and foods mixing and stuff like that. So I wasn't really sure the first time we had these with the coleslaw on top, but it is delicious. It's so good. The taco meat and the coleslaw dressing and the taco sauce just kind of combines together. It's just really good. I recommend you all give this recipe a try. All right, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please hit the thumbs up button below and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And Taylor, thank you so much for sending me that coleslaw tostada recipe. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.